All right, hey guys. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear everyone else. Can you guys talk for a second to make sure everyone can hear you?
Corey is a hater.
Josh is a boomer.
To be clear, I act like a boomer. It's fine.
Okay, boomer.
Actually, I don't. I'm like Gen X all the way. As
Wait a
far
minute,
as, like,
there's two
attitude,
Corys.
but
Where am
like
I?
millennial with
Josh,
no.
Not on the screen. There's only two. There's two Corys.
There's two Corys. There are two Corys.
But Josh, this is why you're a freaking boomer, man.
Like, what's good? What's good?
Hey, me, how's it going?
Josh, oh my gosh.
I don't know how that happens.
Yeah,
Man,
Yeah,
I'll
we
tell
should
you,
leave it. I
you're
like it.
up to a rough start today, huh? Oh man.
There we go. All right. Now we got Bryce.
Oh jeez.
Told you, I've got like 4 different places that I'm looking at for all of this stuff.
Josh, I feel like you must hate it being like the IT guy. Be like, hey, Josh, we got a problem with our computer. Can you come over and fix it? I'm like, oh, this shit again, huh?
So when I was in college, two different stories, completely unrelated to anything, except for the fact that we're going back in time. So we're going to go back in time to when Josh was in college the first time. When I originally went to college after I got out of high school, I was working at Walmart. And I worked in the electronics department there because, you know, that's what I know. And I would get the stupidest questions from customers. Like, I had this one woman who, like, this was, you know, like, it's not, I'm older than you guys, but it's not like I'm old, you know, I'm not like,
Well,
it's not like I survived the Titanic or something, you know. So this woman came up to me who had to be like maybe in like her 60s, 70s maybe, and she has like you guys know like regular house phones, right? You're familiar with those. You've had like a phone in your home that's not a cell phone.
Yeah, you have to plug that fucker into the wall.
I mean, I was 6, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I haven't had a landline phone in 15 years, maybe longer than that. So like, you know, we've moved beyond that as a society. But at the time I was working at Walmart, those were still around and still pretty popular. This woman came up to me with like one of those, and she's like, if I buy this here being in Florida, and I move to Wisconsin, will this phone work in Wisconsin? And I'm like, yeah, you just plug it in.
They have phones before her time. Why is she tripping?
Right? Like at this point, like she was born in the 1900s. Like she had phones her entire life. Like at some point in her lifetime, phone numbers probably started with a letter, not a number. But still, you know,
A1.
Oh man.
So bizarre. But like, I worked at Time Warner Cable for a while too, doing tech support for them, and I would have people calling me up, being like, "Why isn't ABC showing Desperate Housewives?" I'm like,
"Cause it's not on yet.
Because there's a football game on." Like that's not my thing. Or my remote control isn't turning my television on. Well, did you check the batteries? Of course I checked the batteries. Well, can you do me a favor and press the power button on the TV? And then you hear the TV just like blast on and the phone just hangs up. So, I don't know. That was my story. Corey, you said that you have a story that you wanted to start us off with.
This was the time I met Miss Deborah Stell Phillips. Time for Yellow.
Lucky.
And I told her about her.
Was that this when Joe and I did the Power Rangers quiz with her? Or did you meet her, or were you not there?
I think you guys were there. I think you guys were there. This was back then when with the other show that you used to associate. Yeah. and I was just like, you know what? I loved you in Time Force, but I felt like they did you dirty because when they used the Japanese footage. The Yellow Ranger is clearly a man. And I'm just like, why couldn't they just have the Yellow Ranger just be a dude instead of casting you, and I felt like it was kind of disrespectful to her. You know what I mean?
And what did she say?
I guess she was just indifferent about it. Like, she wasn't like offended or anything. She's like, yeah, I get it, and it was a bit weird and jarring, but
she still enjoyed her time as a ranger. That's all that matters.
Yeah, she had fun with it. I learned she lived close to me. I was like, hey, what's your address?
What?
That's not creepy at all, Corey. That is definitely something that in these modern times of society you want to keep asking people, especially women. I would highly recommend that.
Corey, you about to get yourself in big trouble.
Yeah. Anyway,
hashtag Corey's cancel is going to be trending on Twitter tomorrow.
Oh Lord.
Corey stalking the former Ranger Estelle Phillips.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
No, I won't. I'm sorry. I just thought it was funny.
You make us look bad.
No. Us?
No, you make the Ranger community look bad.
Okay, so I feel like I'm going to spend the entirety of this episode asking you guys questions about why things happened a certain way. And,
oh boy, here we go.
Jonathan, you're just gonna keep going because it's Power Rangers.
No.
Josh,
actually, hold on.
Go first, and then I'll just keep my opinions last.
Hold on, because Josh, I gotta give you credit though, because after watching that finale of Flash season 7 this past Tuesday, I said to myself, I'm just like, what the shit was that?
Okay, so wait, did the Flash actually end for the past month? I've thought like every episode was the season finale.
Yeah, this last episode was the season finale.
And they had like lightsabers.
Yeah,
lightning sabers.
I'm just like, what?
Is that what they called them?
No, they didn't call them anything, but they were speed lightning weapons.
What happened?
So Bart Allen had Speed Force ninja stars.
Oh my gosh! I was
Iris,
like, is this Cockroach?
Iris had a Speed Force lightning whip, and then Barry and the Barry Reverse Flash or Eobard Thawne and the Godspeeds had lightning lightsabers.
I'm just like,
what happened to that show?
I'm just like, somebody called. I'm like, somebody called the Power Rangers and asked them to sue them.
I hate how that Cisco left and then he came back.
Yeah, I leave Central City.
He came back already?
He should have come back for the final episode though. Like if I feel like he left, they were like, okay, because both him and
him leaving halfway through the season.
Yeah, like I knew that they were using that to set up him leaving the show, but they should have at least had him come back for the finale to be like, okay, guys, see you later.
Yeah, he should have left during the finale. He should have, I'm leaving, and then leave. Yeah, at the end.
I don't know. The so far, I mean, we're so off course from what we're
Time Force.
Time Force.
But if you guys are still watching the CW DC universe stuff,
I applaud y'all because trust me, I'm about this point. I want to jump off.
Right now,
watch Superman. That's all you need to watch.
Superman and Lois is really solid.
Oh yeah, of course.
Stargirl.
All the first seasons are solid except for Batwoman. I mean,
Stargirl is solid, and then on HBO Max, Doom Patrol is amazing, and Harley.
Yeah, because I mean, the CW always has a good start, except for Batwoman. That one actually got better, but yeah, I mean, everybody's saying like, oh, Superman and Lois is so great right now. But come 3 or 4 years, it's gonna suck just like the rest.
Well, because you know it's gonna turn into like one of these other shows like Supergirl or whatever, where you've got like 30 different heroes that are now part of the team, and you're like, that's not what this show is supposed to be.
Yeah,
but anyway, that's regardless. Power Rangers is a show about teams, and here we have a team. So I don't even know really where to start. What do you guys want to give us like a brief overview of the first part of this season premiere?
I'll do it.
Let's have the fanboy do it.
Shut up.
This whole season is just going to be Blackwing and Corey arguing with each other the whole time.
I told him before we started, I don't want no shade. I don't want no slander thrown in. He already starting mess. All right, whatever. So yeah, check it. I'm about to say Star Wars. Oops.
Yeah, if you start your story by saying check it, you have to like do it to a beat now.
Oh God, no. All right, so check this out. Time Force. We open up in the year 3000. You have Ransik, public enemy number 1, who is the greatest criminal in the future, and his plan is to escape to the past, since he pretty much is like, I can't cause no mayhem in the year 3000, so I guess I'm gonna go to the past and screw things up. Then you have Alex, who's
He's raising his hand.
What time
already?
You missed one vital.
God, here we go.
All the criminals in the year 3000 have been captured except Ransik. So
I'm not doing
in
that.
the future,
I'm not
everything
doing
is peaceful and calm
God.
and good.
Okay, wait. I am gonna interrupt you though, because I have a question. So Ransik is the criminal that gets captured.
Public
It's
enemy.
the last one.
Yeah. So they capture him. They put him on trial, and they sentence him to be cryogenically frozen for life. How do you cryogenically freeze someone for life? Because when they're cryogenically frozen, they're in stasis and they're not aging.
Well, do you see the device that it does? It basically shrinks them into like toys, and they put them in a container and put them in a fridge.
I mean, that was in Demolition Man too. You gotta let it go.
right. But he like John Spartan was sentenced to like 50 years or something. Like he came out of that.
Well, I mean, if you're never released, then that's your whole life, right? Because eventually,
why would you spend money doing that instead of just like killing them off?
This is Josh. Remember what this is. Remember what this is, Josh. They don't use the K word.
But Wes, not Wes.
Alex.
Alex was straight up murdered.
He wasn't murdered. He was destroyed.
Yeah. He was destroyed, Josh.
When you're destroyed, you can come back.
So instead of cryogenically freezing them, if they're going to sentence them to life, why didn't they just destroy them?
Okay, look. If you can see,
SPD is a little more brutal. In the future, people are nicer.
Yeah.
Oh wait, not SPD. I'm sorry, Deca Ranger.
All right,
Deca Ranger
Layla
kills people.
Nolan has joined us, and she gave us a $5 super chat.
Yes,
Thank you,
Layla.
We appreciate that.
Thank you, sis.
This appears to also be her. She says, and we're on to my favorite season. So this is Blackwing. You and Layla now have something in common.
Me and Layla, we talked about Time Force for many years. We know we're Toku siblings. This is our thing. This is our ish.
And Koala has joined us as well. Thank you for joining us.
Anywho,
and everyone in the chat, welcome. If you have any questions or want to know our thoughts on anything, feel free to let us know. Again, super chats are always welcome because that helps us. I would say we say keep the lights on, but we're all living at home, so
it helps keep the channel going.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
Anyway, so yeah, to answer your question, Josh, I guess I understand you're confusing them, like why put them in cryogenic confinement. Where I know you're probably gonna say, why not just lock them in a cell?
Well, no, not even lock them in a cell. Like if you're going to be removing someone completely, like I mean, even the cell thing, or like a penal colony or something like that, yeah, that makes more sense. But if you're going to put someone in stasis for life, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
I get that.
I mean, you're taking away their freedom. That's what prison is all about.
Right. But it's a weird term to me because why are you putting them away? Like what? Define life when you're when you're in stasis. Like what does that even mean at that point?
I mean, it just depends on the type of stasis, because maybe they age slowly. They're obviously still alive, but maybe they're slowly aging or slowly dying. So who knows the science behind cryogenics?
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Neither do I.
That's a solid point. One point to Corey.
Oh, Corey, Mikey actually agrees with you in the chat. He says, "Hey guys, the most overrated season of all time. Congratulations, you have a teammate."
Toku says, why don't they just lock them in space dumpsters? It seems like it was a popular way to imprison evil monsters.
I mean,
no, because they crash on the moon and come back and start trouble.
But think about it though. Instead of, I actually kind of see where this is going. Instead of like locking them in a space zone, why not just create a space prison and just keep the prison in space, have them locked up in there?
Yeah.
That was almost 1,000 years ago. You know, SPD. We talked about this already.
What was that? Riddick, Chronicles of Riddick. You know, they sent him to Crematoria. It was a prison planet.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're gonna be talking about this cryogenically freezing stuff for like the whole show.
Yeah, could we get on with this?
One more comment about it. Toku says cryo prison is a weird concept because how do you reform criminals if they come out exactly the way they went in?
Maybe okay.
Well, he was in prison for life. He wasn't supposed to come out.
Right, but if other villains were being cryogenically frozen not for life.
Look, at this point, because at this point, whatever I say is gonna lead into spoiler territory, and I don't want to do that. So, Josh, your questions are probably gonna have to be kept until the end of the season.
Just one more thing, because I brought up Demolition Man. I just want to, like, in case anyone doesn't know, in Demolition Man, which took place in 1996, they had brought cryogenic freezing to the penal system. So John Spartan was frozen, or he was supposed to be frozen for 50 years, and they put like some sort of a computer thing on his head to rehabilitate him. Like, he would be taught new skills so that when he got out, he could be a productive member of society. Just turning someone into a doll and putting them in, in storage somewhere, like Bryce said, and Toku pointed out, you're not changing them at all. They're just going to be the same villain they were when they went in. So I look forward to that question getting answered later in the series.
Save all your heavy thought questions until the end of the season. I'll just say that.
We won't have a show if these criminals are rehabilitated, sir.
Why not? Like, we were talking about DC earlier. Eobard Thawne thought, like Barry Allen called Eobard Thawne, was like, "Hey, we need your help."
Anywho, jeez.
And that's all for today's show, folks. We spent the whole hour talking about cryogenically freezing and the Flash. So,
jeez. Anywho, Ransik is pretty much taken to the, in a convoy headed to the prison. And of course, he has a contingency plan. His daughter, Nadira, is used as, a trap to take down tripping Katie. Frax is driving a helicopter, shoots the trailer down. Ransik escapes, and the captain of Time Force pretty much fires Jen, Lucas, and tripping Katie. I'm just like, dude, it wasn't their fault. It really wasn't their fault. Like, they didn't know.
I was like, man, that sounds like somebody I know at my job.
Well, we've seen any number of movies where, it's like, oh, we're transporting this dangerous criminal to this other place so that they can then be transported to where we're storing them for, whatever. And then,
for life.
Course, and then, of course, that criminal was like, this was all part of my plan. Or they have their lackeys come and break them out of the convoy.
I like in the convoy scene, like
that was
the truck. The truck is traveling this way, right?
Yeah.
So Jen and Ransik are sitting inside the truck, but when the truck stops, Jen jerks back. So you had jerked this way.
Corey,
are we seriously getting this deep into this shit right now?
I told you. We ain't doing this, Corey. I told you we're not doing this.
That always bothered me.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
But they're traveling.
We're never gonna get this done.
Okay. One last question. Who did this better? The last Mission Impossible or Power Rangers Time Force?
I'm not answering this question. I'm not even answering this question.
Okay. What about SWAT or Power Rangers Time Force?
Ransik escapes the convoy, and Nadira and Frax, they head to the prison to transport the prison into another time period. Jesus Christ, can we get on with this?
Okay, well, why is it that Time Force is the only organization that has cars that drive on the ground, and everyone else has flying cars?
What do I have? How many times I got? Y'all gonna make me explode on this. You don't want me to do that.
Wait, no, I have a legit better question. What are Ransik's powers? So it looks like he pulls.
His whole body is a
looks
weapon.
like he just pulls swords, like he's able to protrude his bones out, and
hey, that's cool though.
They turn into swords.
His whole body is a weapon. Yes.
Yeah, basically. He could do it out. Oh, we didn't get there. I don't want to spoil that. Never mind.
Yeah.
Well, so in these episodes, we saw him pull one out of his back, out of his leg, and I think out of his arm.
And he has a blade out of his forearm.
Yeah. So I mean, all in all, so far, it looks pretty dope. Like I mean, I know I'm giving it shit, but for when it came out, I don't know if I talked to you guys about the show previously, but there's a show that you can watch on Amazon Prime right now. It's called Space Precinct. It was a late '90s show about, as far off in the future, aliens have been discovered and they're part of society now, and it's about the police that work in this new society.
So it's Power Rangers SPD.
It seems that way, but there's no time travel or anything. At least not from what I saw. But it seems similar. It's like a cop show, but with monsters.
That sounds interesting.
Put it on your
does
list.
actually sound
Okay,
cool.
homework for next week.
Oh God, no!
I want all three of you guys just watch the first 2 episodes of Space Precinct on Amazon Prime.
How long is the episode? It better be 30 minutes.
It might be 40.
Oh God.
That's only 10 minutes longer, dude.
Hey, 10 minutes is a long time.
Exactly.
Depending on the show, 10 minutes could feel like a lifetime.
Oh my gosh, we are never gonna get through these episodes, guys.
No, we are.
We're it's literally like we're gonna have to start doing 1 episode per thing, and we're gonna be done with this by the end of like 2025.
Corey. Bryce?
I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead. Finish the summary.
Okay.
Finish the summary.
Yeah. Finish this out.
Okay, Alex gets to the prison. He faces Ransik again in a rematch. Instead, he gets overrun. Ransik kicked his ass, and he gives the Rangers his morpher, tells them that there are 4 other morphers in the time ship. Ransik teleports to a different time period. And so the others, Jen, Katie, Trip, and Lucas, they go to the time ship. They ignore Captain's orders, saying, like, we're going to catch him, and we're going to do this ourselves. This is like, you want something done, you got to do it yourself. And this is pretty much where we see Jen officially take charge.
All right. So, more questions that you're probably going to hate. Why are they called Time Force?
Well, they're supposed to be like protecting time.
In the future, they're supposed to be protecting time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why they're the Time Force.
Yes, Corey. Your answer?
Well, actually, I talked about this in the show prior to this, but I'll say it again. In Time Ranger, there were 2 police forces. There was the inner city police, and then there was the Time Protection Agency, whatever they were called.
Time Protection Bureau.
There you go, sir. And in Time Force, they just put it together and fuck it, it's a kid show. Let's roll with it.
So here's the question though. So when Ransik gets back to 2001, he comes out of his thing and he's like, oh, where are we? And he's like, we're in 2001. He's like, there's no Time Force here. But if they're Time Force, wouldn't they be traveling time to protect time?
This is probably something that never happened to them before, so that's why Jen and them chased after him to go to the past, because they only have 1 time ship, and once they crashed it, they have no way of getting back. So I guess
right. But this is where I'm confused, and like this is like a serious thing. So in the future, they're called Time Force.
Yes.
Before the beginning of this series, were they traveling through time to protect time?
Unknown. I don't know. I really don't know.
Because
Corey knows though. Here, Corey.
Does Corey know?
again another concept that is taking another story element that was taken from Time Ranger. They didn't use it, but basically, in Time Ranger, all these events were supposed to happen. So it's just this weird time story, like, oh, he's going to change time, but then the Alex character, his name is Captain Yuga.
Yeah.
He was just letting this stuff happen. And, he was real shady and stuff about it. But all of this was supposed to happen to, story elements. But in Time Ranger, like I said, it's a big hole. And questions.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is I just don't understand why they were called Time Force in the future if they weren't protecting time.
The point.
If the show itself was just called Time Force and they traveled back in time just to save it because Ransik went back in time, like that, I completely understand that. Like that makes sense. Like Time Cop, he traveled, or Terminator or whatever. They travel back in time to protect the timeline and save the future, and the time travel element is just a story here. But their squadron is legit called Time Force when we first meet them. So it was just a little confusing to me why Ransik would be like, oh well, Time Force isn't here if they're called Time Force in the future and they were trying.
They're gonna get you. They should be coming out.
That just seemed it seems like that's a bigger plot hole than some of the other things that I nitpick about with Rangers.
Yeah, it's just that I have a habit of watching the Sentai and the Power Ranger series, so I always fill in the gaps with the other show.
You do that at the same time?
No, I can't. It's not possible.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, like you watched one episode of Time Rangers, then you watch another.
No, I'm just like, because I usually do it backwards, because then like when I was watching Wild Force, I was peeking at Gal Ranger, and then when I had a question, I'll watch Gal Ranger. I'm like, oh, okay, they expanded on this plot, so I know what was missing in Power Rangers.
That makes sense. I just want to hop over to the chat for a second. So Toku Kid asked, he's kind of like latching onto my question. Why are they protecting time if they were the only ones with a time machine? So wouldn't you say themselves are harmful to our timeline since they created their own problems? That I could actually answer that. Like not knowing the series though, like that's most time travel movies. Or like again, going back to Terminator or any one of these things, traveling in time is creating the paradox that they then have to fix themselves. Back to the Future, Marty McFly causes a paradox by going back in time and meddling in what was happening and potentially ending his life because his parents weren't going to get together. So he has to fix that problem that he created. I get that. That's a cliche in like most time travel stories. That's not a problem for me.
That's the issue with Beast Morphers too. They was messed with that Morph-X, and then they created something, and then Vengex came about. He's like, Morph-X tastes real good, and then they created their own problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that was.
Well, that's a common trope, though. It seems.
It is. I don't want to spoil anything for the new Suicide Squad movie. I got to watch it yesterday at like the 40X headquarters. It was a private screening.
Oh, nice.
There were just like 4 of us there. Like we had Warner Brothers security standing there with us to make sure that we weren't like pulling out our phones and like snapping pictures. Like this was surreal. But the original Suicide Squad. I don't know if you guys have seen it or anyone watching has seen it, but the problem that they were fixing was a problem that Amanda Waller created.
Oh, so the old movie is still canon then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why didn't they give the movie a subtitle, Suicide Squad Attack of Starro or something like that?
Because they want people to think that it's kind of its own thing, but with Harley Quinn and some of the other characters coming back, it's that they don't necessarily reference the first movie, but it definitely doesn't erase the first movie.
That's why with the DC films, I'm just like, you know what? Screw continuity. Y'all want to go nuts? Go nuts.
Watch them. I'm not talking about the new movie. In the original one, Viola Davis, she released the Enchantress into June Moon became a thing because of what Viola Davis, the Amanda Waller, was doing to her. So the fact that they then had to go and stop the Enchantress was because of what Amanda Waller did. So they created the problem that they were needing to fix. That's just storylines in movies and TV shows and comic books that happens. So like that kind of stuff, I'm able to look over it as long as it's done well. Whether Time Force does that or not, I don't know. Like we're only 2 episodes in, so I can't judge that. I'm just trying to like lay groundwork for what to expect, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
One more time over to the chat. Layla says directed at you, Blackwing. That's the same thing I face. Same face I make when she's working at the service desk.
Yeah, it's just too many damn questions.
Toku is saying additionally, plus how do they police time travel? We have time scrolls, wormholes, magic spells, time monsters, and other planets, which ancient forms of time travel, energems.
We're not. Stop. Can we just keep going? Episode 2. Come on.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's jump into episode 2. My questions are just we're seriously like just for setting up why Time Force was there as Time Force. Like I understand what their purpose is now. It's just, you know. But now they're stuck in the past. So
yes.
Now that they're stuck in the past, continue with episode 2.
Corey, why don't you take the lead since you want to bash my favorite season?
Hey, man, look, I just scrubbed through it. I'm going to just get to the point.
It's fine. That you get to the point. You get to the point. That way, Josh won't ask so many more questions.
Right, so episode 2, the Rangers are in the year 2001. It kind of bothers me that they travel back in time 1,000 years, but land in the year 2001. Shouldn't be. They should have traveled back in time from 3001 to
Corey,
that's a nitpick. That's a real nitpick there.
Anyway, I'm just talking shit. Okay, so
Edward Sanchez Production says this. Please stop asking questions.
Why are you asking all them questions?
They run into Alex's ancestor, which is Wesley Collins. I notice he has some sort of a lisp when he pronounces his S's. It's, you know?
What the hell, man?
Who cares about the way he pronounces his S's? Like, jeez.
Anyway, and then they the chronomorphers are DNA locked, but there are 5 morphers. The Red Ranger's morpher is the key to unlocking the other 4. So Alex's ancestor, Mr. Wesley Collins, has a DNA match. So therefore, they need to use him to activate the Red morpher to unlock the other 4. And they play him. They unlock the morpher. They beat the bad guy, and thus
we begin our journey.
Next episode.
Okay.
Yes.
So I apologize because there's more questions.
Oh Jesus.
So in the future, Alex, he was the Red Ranger. Who was the rest of the team in the future?
I don't think there was the rest of the team because there were no criminals.
Yeah, they didn't get their colors yet.
Okay, so how did he become the Red Ranger in the future? Or is that something that's coming up later?
That is no explanation for that.
No,
okay.
He just was.
He just was.
He just was. I accept that. That's Power Rangers.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that there was
like Mighty Morphin. Ninja made the power coins, but why? Why dinosaurs?
I mean,
what robot make coins with dinosaurs on them?
Even that kind of a thing that doesn't bother me. It's like for this, it's legit. Just like, okay, well, he's a Power Ranger in the future, but where did he come from? Like how did he get the morpher?
Oh yeah, that's his backstory.
I think that's something that they explore in the comic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even read that. I need to read that.
Because
they have after we get done with this.
They have the Sins of the Future sequel comic where spoiler, his sister is in it, and they kind of go a little more in depth into Alex's past, but it's still not anything like, it's not like the story of Alex or anything, but we learn a little more about Alex.
Okay.
We learn a little more about Alex.
I don't know if I got that comic or not. Like I am so far behind on all my comics. I don't know if you guys saw the other day. I went to my storage unit. I pulled out the long box that I had in there, and I started cataloging all of my books, and finding all of the ones that I had here. Like they used to be sitting here behind me, but I pulled them out because I needed to start straightening things up and figuring out where I was. I've probably got about 120 books that I need to catch up on.
Oh wow!
Wow! Oh wow!
There are a few Power Ranger books in there.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that.
But like now, like because I keep seeing comics every week that are coming out, and I'm like, oh, I want this one. Like, there's like something called like Amazing Fantasy that's coming out.
Oh, Josh, actually, you know what you should do? Just trade wait. Wait till it comes out in trade paperback.
Yeah,
just trade
like,
wait.
I like the covers for like the individual.
I know.
But sometimes they put the covers in the trades.
Yeah, there you go.
So I mean, for some stuff I'll start doing that. But also like I'm collecting for like flipping some stuff, like, you know, like later down the line. But yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Time Force.
Yeah. So in Time Force. So in sorry, Wes, not Alex. Wes, he feels he's like a spoiled rich kid, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't like to be rich. He's like the different kind of rich kid.
Yeah, he just want to live his life. He don't want to be a boring corporate slave like his dad.
It seems like from this episode, it kind of seemed like he was taking advantage of it where he wanted to, but didn't want the responsibilities that come with being in that. Like basically, the like I hate the shit that I have to deal with, but I like the benefits that I'm getting from it. And I can. I guess not. I mean, I'm not a spoiled rich kid. You know, I.
But you are gonna see you are gonna see that later with Wes's character, probably like around next week. I think some in a bit of one of the earlier episodes. But you are gonna see that.
Emancipation.
But then like something like when they all morphed in this episode too, like that it actually kind of reinforced my headcanon that any of the morphers that link to the morphing grid are like the Green Lantern rings, where like you just kind of like as soon as you put it on, you kind of know things automatically, because how else would Wes have known how to do the thing?
Do the thing,
or
any of them
do the morph.
Yeah.
But I mean, Dawn and Fury, they had to learn it.
Yeah.
So,
but that's really the first season where they've touched on that, isn't it?
Yeah, even the skirt thing when Izzy ripped
well,
the skirt
Jungle
off.
Fury did it. Jungle Fury touched on it.
Did they?
Yeah,
Casey tried to do the morph and he didn't do it right.
And then he couldn't morph, and then the other Rangers were fighting for him. Or whatever.
Yeah, man. You know what would be really funny? Almost like a Hogwarts, like a Power Ranger school, where like all the or like a Power Rangers Academy type thing, where
like a Jedi training academy.
Yeah. You know, where they're teaching them all how to morph. And, you know, like Ron Weasley is like Wingardium Leviosa or whatever, and like something blows up, and they do the morph, and it like fucks up, and one of them turns into like a half breed or something.
That's such a great idea, Josh. You should, you should pitch that. Honestly,
I will. I'll tag Simon Bennett on Twitter.
Oh, I'm sure he would love that.
I'm sure he would love to be tagged on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's like, hey Simon, why don't you do this?
Yeah.
And
because he doesn't get like at least 20 of those every day.
How come that lizard don't have boobs?
Okay.
Yeah, and Corey, you remember what we were talking about at the beginning of this episode?
Remind me.
With you and Deborah Estelle.
Oh.
Womp womp.
We already know how Corey feels about this show. We already know how Jonathan, how you feel about this. Bryce, have you seen this series previously?
I've seen parts of it. Yeah, I haven't watched it like consecutively all the way through before, but I have seen most of it, so I know what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'm definitely the newcomer here, obviously. But so, Bryce, I just want to ask you. So watching these first 2 episodes, like what did you think? Like what was your overall opinion of them, and like what outside of like the stupid questions that I'm asking, what stood out to you?
So here in my commercial break from the Blackwing Corey show, I will give my thoughts on.
I was actually about to say, like, can we let Bryce say his thoughts, please?
I think, I don't think it's the best season in the world like Blackwing, but I also think Corey is being absolutely ridiculous.
It's the best season in the world. I just said,
look, I'm BSing right now, but there's one episode that drives me up the freaking wall, and it killed it for me. It killed the whole series for me, and I was just like,
well,
oh, gosh.
Corey, you're gonna have to tell me off the air.
Yeah,
but it's I think it's definitely a top 5 season. I think I really like the storyline. I really like the characters. I like a lot of some of the more serious issues that they deal with as the show progresses, and I think it's definitely a very unique Power Rangers season. It's one of the more serious ones too. So for fans who think that Power Rangers should be this dark and gritty whatever, it's no RPM, but it's definitely a little darker. Listen, Corey, it's a hell of a lot darker than freaking Megaforce, man. Okay, so there you go.
Okay, so after watching these first two episodes again for you, Bryce, what are you looking forward to seeing or getting out of this season?
Yeah, so I think it's definitely cool to have Jen be the first female leader of a team. So I'm excited to kind of see her kind of take the reins. The Time Force Rangers. I'm excited for Eric to show up. I think he's definitely a highlight of the series, and I really like whenever a certain character shows up and kind of shakes things up a little bit. So not to spoil anything, but that's definitely a highlight of the season as well. So
what do you guys think of the costumes in this series?
I like
for me, because like that's one of the things like I don't want to talk about like the Toei Hasbro split thing, but one of the things that I don't understand, I know we've talked about this before, is with the people saying that they don't want to see it happen, is I feel like a lot of the people saying that they don't want the split to happen because they want the adaptations to continue have seen the Sentai series already and gotten the stories and seen the costumes and seen the monsters from all of that. So I personally don't understand why they would be against getting new content with new costumes and new monsters and all that kind and all that kind of stuff in a live action thing when they've already seen the Sentai. So in this, obviously the costumes are the same as what they got in the Sentai version, but Ransik, does Ransik look different here?
Ransik's not in the Sentai counterpart.
Really?
No. Yeah. Completely original.
Yeah. Don't not because what is this episode 3? He shows up. Gluto.
2. No wait, Gluto was in the beginning. He was already showed. He's already here.
Oh yeah. Well, that well guy, that blue monster with the well. He was the boss in Time Ranger.
Yeah.
Okay.
He smoked a cigar. He's like,
yeah.
He was one of those guys.
Josh, to answer your question, I personally don't see a benefit of Hasbro keeping the Sentai adaptations. Whenever you said it, they can do their own thing. They don't have to be limited by another show. I think for the fans, it's more of a, they want to see how it's going to be done in America, because Time Ranger and Time Force is an example of a season where pretty much the story is almost the exact same. Same with Samurai and Shinkenger. But I mean, in other seasons like RPM and Goanger, they could not be any more different.
Two separate entities.
Right. Well, it's like to make another example, or to kind of compare it to something else. The Office, if you guys are familiar with it, there was an original show in England with Ricky Gervais and what's his name?
Stephen
Merchant. And lots of other people that you would recognize from other things. And then when they brought it over to the States with
Steve Carell,
insane cast over here, like all those people that were on that show like blew up from that. But the show went in a different direction than the British version did. So it still had the same concept behind it, but overall everything that happened in the American version was completely different. I was asking about this the other day with the Wonder Years. There's a new series, like Wonder Year series, that's coming out that's focusing on a family in, I want to say, Atlanta. But from what I can tell, it's not related to the first show at all.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, why are they calling it the Wonder Years if the people who have seen the original Wonder Years aren't the target market for this?
What's the point of brand recognition when the people who watch it weren't around to recognize it?
right. And like comics to movies or TV shows, I don't want to see a 1-to-1 exact copy of it. So
bit for bit.
So with Power Rangers, I get adapting it, but if you're adapting it and you want to do your own thing, you're very limited by the footage that you have coming from the other production. Whereas doing all of your own footage, so I feel like Power Rangers can adapt the show like the series, but make it their own. New costumes, new take on a similar story, but with all original footage.
I'll interject, because I definitely agree with what you're saying, Josh. Definitely with the whole beat for beat situation. I, for one, after when I first watched Shinkenger all the way through, I'm just like, Samurai really copied this thing beat for beat. I don't like that. It's kind of cool sometimes, to an extent. Like, for instance, the DC animated movies when they're adapting iconic storylines.
When I saw Doomsday show up in the Death of Superman, I was like, oh great, I recognize this Doomsday. Didn't necessarily recognize the Doomsday from Batman v Superman, but
okay.
And that's kind of the thing, when you it can go in a lot of bad ways, but it can also go in a lot of good ways. With this, so the suits that they were wearing, or not the suits, but the white costumes that Time Force was wearing in the beginning of the episode, the first episode, I really dug those. I thought those looked really good.
Those look better. Yeah,
are those new for this, or are those costumes that they wore in the?
Because they are basically wearing white tuxedos.
Yeah, white tuxedo with no logos, no detail, nothing. It's just plain white clothing.
Because for me, those kind of felt like that Space Precinct show, even Star Trek Enterprise. Like, Bryce, you've been watching that. Those uniforms, colors were different. The designs were different, but they felt like the same type of thing that the Enterprise crew wears on Enterprise, or the police in Space Precinct are wearing, and they looked like the detail in them and everything looked pretty good. It didn't look like something that you would buy from the Spirit Halloween store for
$20. Speaking of costumes, we reused the GSA costumes again, but with different chest armor from Lost Galaxy. Those helmets came back.
So Ransik, you said, is new, completely new for the American show. What did you guys think of how he looks? To me, he looked kind of like
Mad Max kind of
like a cross between like Mad Max and like Kano from Mortal Kombat.
His actor was in a Mad Max movie, so
the actor looked familiar.
Vernon Wells, that's his name.
Yeah, but I think he looks badass. I think his design is super cool.
Yeah, badass. That's a
legacy figure. I mean, lightning figure.
Yeah, yeah. No, we don't want those legacy figures.
No, not the legacy ones.
Not the legacy figure.
It'll never come out.
I mean, actually, I'll give legacy credit to an extent. To an extent, not full on credit, but to an extent, some of them were better than others.
So Vernon Wells, yeah, he was in Mad Max 2. He was in Commando. Oh, he was in Weird Science. I bet that's where I recognize him from, because like at the end of Weird Science, there's a scene where a motorcycle gang like breaks into their house, and I think that might
have been him.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. He also kind of looks like Tom Savini.
I have no idea who that is.
He was in From Dusk Till Dawn. He was the guy that had the gun that popped out of his crotch.
What the hell?
Okay, you guys need to watch From Dusk Till Dawn.
Josh, you watch so many things that I've never heard of or even comprehend.
From Dusk Till Dawn, it was George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino in a movie directed by Robert Rodriguez and written by Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino.
Oh gosh.
About vampires. Oh, and Cheech Marin is in it. Salma Hayek is in it.
Wow.
I think it was before his time.
Before our times, Josh.
Yeah.
Way before our time.
Okay, boomer.
I will hurt you.
So
you got a long drive, man.
It's okay.
So anyway,
I was just looking at the Destination Star Trek. The tickets for that go on sale next week, and it's in Chicago. So if I drive out to that, I could easily stop by you.
When is this?
Huh?
When is that event?
April 8th to 10th, 2022.
Oh, okay. That's wow. Okay. Well, you've been planning that for a long time.
So yeah.
I should be in Indiana.
Like Batman, you have prep time.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Ratings. Okay. At this point, can we get to ratings? Ratings, gentlemen. Bryce.
Corey, let's start with you.
Oh God,
no. We already know where they're gonna be, so we might as well.
All right, look. When Time Force came out, I was hyped. I liked Time Force pretty much way into like halfway into the season. So, just I'm gonna give it like a 3.
Just a 3, and that's just based off of just the premiere, the first 2 episodes. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I'm not letting my hate for it cloud anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, not. I don't want to go off on another tangent again, but like I haven't watched the most recent episode of The Bad Batch yet. But when that show started, all of us were like, "Oh, the show is great. We really like what it's doing." And I know Caitlin and Rob and JD the other night was like, "What's going on with this show?" Like they were not fans of these last couple of episodes. So that happens. Like a show could start off. We were just talking about this with the CW DC shows. Shows can start off really strong and then
fall apart in the middle.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem with every show. Every show has that problem.
They go on too long.
Bryce, what about you?
I think I'm not gonna give it like probably a 5 out of 5 like Blackwing, but I think
it was the perfect thing I've ever seen in my life.
I think it's definitely very solid. It's not perfect, but I think a 4.5 is pretty fair. It's definitely one of the better premieres for Power Rangers. I think the stakes were high, and so I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I enjoyed it. I thought these 2 episodes were well made. I understand that some of my questions, some of the things I was talking about, some of the things I was bringing up were feel like nitpicky. But
you need to quit with the nitpicks. You need to quit with the nitpicks.
There's actually another show that can kind of relate this to. A little bit different. Continuum. It was a Canadian sci-fi show from a few years ago. And it also dealt with someone from the future who got sent to the past to deal with criminals who got sent to the past to change the future. but no, this like just based off of these 2 episodes, this is a show that I think in 2001 I would have watched. I would have been interested in this. These 2 episodes would have piqued my interest. I would have been asking the same questions then that I am now about, like, wait a second, what's going on with all this time travel stuff if time is in the name? Like, that's
even the lame cryogenic question.
Yeah, because I'd seen Demolition Man at that point. Like that's just like you have to realize I went to school for film theory and criticism, so like
okay.
I'm trained
the analytical portion
to
of the brain.
just like pull that kind of stuff out. Like, I can turn my brain off and watch a movie. Like, I really enjoyed Space Jam: A New Legacy. Like, I thought that movie was really fun. Like, I was able to turn my brain off and go, I realize that LeBron is not a great actor, but if you want, like, have you seen the original Space Jam, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
That movie is not great.
I mean,
it's fun. It's really fun. Like, I could sit there and watch it, and I'm going to enjoy the time that I spent watching it. But you can't tell me that it's like a masterpiece of modern
You're telling me
cinema.
Michael Jordan didn't get an Oscar for his performance in Space?
Surprisingly.
I mean, look. I mean, okay. I agree. Like, saying Space Jam is not a good movie. That's also like the same thing as saying like Looney Tunes Back in Action isn't a great movie.
Right. Like there. Like, I feel like people have to learn how to separate. I really enjoyed this thing, and it was fun, and I liked it, and
yeah, some people just enjoy a good movie.
Like people watch things ironically all the time now. And I think we've gotten to a point where people have watched things ironically or hate watched things for so long that now they're looking at the like The Room, like that Tommy Wiseau film. Like, that is bad. That is not a good movie, but people enjoy watching it because of that. Like, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with, I like Howard the Duck. Like, there's nothing wrong with enjoying bad films. You
like,
just have to.
Batman and Robin is a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, when you're having a discussion about them and you're critiquing them, you have to give into the bad things as well. Like, you have to be able to admit this thing that I like. I mean, you don't have to admit, but you can't watch this and be like, no, Michael Jordan is a fucking great actor. Like, why didn't he get an Oscar for this? I love this movie. You could be like, nah, Michael Jordan, like, he's Michael Jordan. You know, it is what it is. But you can still be like, even though his acting was stale and he felt like a wooden brick the entire time, I enjoyed it. Like,
it's so bad that I like it.
Yeah. There's a point. Like, there's bad, there's so bad it's good, and then there's, why does this movie exist? Like, there's levels.
Yes.
And for this, at least from the start, I think it's off to a good start, despite the fact that I have questions about the plot.
First of all, Bryce, Corey, my ranking is not 5 out of 5. Thank you very much. But like you guys said, strong start, high stakes, and usually when it comes to sometimes I like to go back and watch pilots to certain seasons just to see how it feels, and you just you realize oh yeah, this season had a great strong pilot. I mean, the show may be crappy, but it may have a strong pilot.
Yeah.
So in Time Force's case, you already hit with high stakes right from the jump, right from the get go. Kind of like with In Space.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I like you guys already know me. I guess Time Force unapologetic, whatever. But yeah, I just 4.5 out of 5, since some people want to say I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5.
So wait a minute, hold on now, wait a minute.
Oh,
so
God.
If I hadn't said something, would you have rated this a 5 out of 5?
I was gonna say 4.5 out of 5. All right, leave me alone. If I'm gonna give.
Jumping into the chat here, Layla gives it a 4.5 out of 5 as well. She says, I like the first 2 episodes. I just hate Nadira's synthetic wig.
Oh, trust me, Layla really hates Nadira's wig. She really.
I felt very similar about what's her name's wig in Space.
Astronema.
Astronema, yeah. I just all right.
Like, how many wigs this girl got in her closet?
T. Wolf,
for a whole
the
lightning
Typhoon Ranger, gives it a 4.75 out of 5. He loves Ransik, one of the best villains all of PR. Jared Hodges gives it a 4. Donnie Pearson gives it a 10 out of 10. And he says what he loves about Time Force is the kick butt theme and tune and score. I did like the music. I thought the music was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I know Donnie's thing is like
Corey,
your
taste in music's terrible.
Edward Sanchez gives it a 4 out of 5 as well. So I want to ask you guys who were rating it lower. Layla, you already gave us your reason, but Jared and Edward Sanchez, let us know why you docked it the points that you did.
A 4 is pretty high, though.
Yeah, I'd say 4 is pretty solid.
Yeah. Those are high, but like I want to know why they docked it a point or the 0.25 or whatever.
I mean, not everything deserves a perfect score, to be honest.
No, absolutely not. But it's interesting to see why people are giving it the ratings that they are. So while those guys are giving us that information, one more from Layla. She says at least Astronomer's wigs looked more real. What I want, since we're dealing with, I'm gonna put you guys all on the spot right now. Since we're dealing with time travel in the show, what are your favorite time travel movies or TV shows?
Avengers Endgame.
Oh God.
I was like, and then I was like, oh yeah.
It makes absolutely no freaking sense, but I like it.
No, it makes sense. I dove into it. I get it.
I'm gonna say
Loki. Well, have you seen Loki though?
Yes.
And how come the TVA didn't come swoop up Steve?
Because that was supposed to happen.
No,
that was supposed to happen.
He was supposed to make a branching timeline.
No, but he didn't make a branching timeline because, well, if you think about it, because Steve becomes the husband of Peggy Carter. So when you're watching Winter Soldier and she's talking about her husband, she's talking about Steve. And then also talking about Steve being gone. But the TVA exists outside of time. So time is not moving. Time is moving forward and backwards. So when Loki, at the end of the first Avengers movie, picks up the Tesseract and creates a branching timeline, he goes to the TVA, and then all kind of stuff is happening. So in a sense, I guess branching Loki happens to where the timeline branches off. Like we, in real time, we experience
it's even more basic than that. Classic Loki. I don't want to spoil like specific plot points for everyone, but classic Loki said that he was doing his when he left and escaped, he went to a planet, he was hiding out there, he was spending his entire life there. But then at one point he was like, you know what, I should leave and check on whatever else is happening in the rest of the universe. And as soon as he left, that was going to cause changes in the timeline, so that's when they got him. So they were only grabbing people that were causing major changes to what was happening in the flow.
Yeah, so like in a sense, it was like the multiverse existed and didn't exist at the same time.
So Steve was always kissing his niece then.
Yes.
I'll do you another one better. How come the Eternals didn't step in and stopped it?
Well, we'll find out in the movie.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like I can't answer that until I know what they were up to.
Like humans or whatever, or mutants. So so Eternals exist in multiple. They're not omnipotent or whatever that word is.
Omnipotent.
Yeah, like Unicron.
I like
There's one Unicron.
Omnipotent.
Transformers. Oh wait, well there was, and then they changed it, but whatever. But you get what I mean.
Yeah. Jonathan, what about you? What's your favorite time travel movie or TV show?
I'll say I'll be basic. Samurai Jack.
Did they time travel in that?
Yeah, he sent him to the future.
Corey. Oh my god. I was surprised he didn't say Power Rangers Time Force.
It's been a long time since I've seen Samurai Jack.
Jeez.
For me, I kind of have to go with T2.
What the hell?
Oh, Terminator.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's a lot of TV shows and everything that I like Timeless from a couple of years ago. I thought that was really fun. Lost. I'm not even gonna count that because that's not really time travel, but it is sort of.
At this moment, I just realized what my favorite time travel show is.
Time Warp Trio.
No, Beast Wars.
Oh, Beast Wars. Beast Wars fanboy.
I was like, what is my favorite show? And I was like, oh, there it is.
But I also think Continuum was also really fun. Because that was one of those shows where like people from the future kind of kept showing up.
Yeah, well, I also liked
Travelers was good.
Yeah, I like Matt Smith's run of Doctor Who. That was really good, I think.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change my answer. Doctor Who, like overall, Doctor Who is probably my favorite piece of media that involves time travel.
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted is also really solid. Have you guys seen Face the Music?
I have never watched Bill and Ted.
What?
Oh, poor boy.
Leave me alone.
Hold on. I'm actually permanently changing my answer to the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh. Okay. He said Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. I'm thinking of I was like, oh god, not the.
Have you guys seen that? Where
I haven't seen it yet.
Where Rey travels back in time to learn from other Jedi how to train Finn or whatever, and
I have not.
It is the greatest piece. It's better than episode 9. I'll give it that. I think any movie is probably better than episode 9.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
I've seen a lot of bad movies. Starship Troopers 2.
Look, let's be honest. Episode 8 and 9 really divided the fandom. We'll just say that. It really divided.
I liked 8.
Episode 9 makes episode 8 look like freaking Empire.
But we are basically out of our time here today. We've been on for a little over an hour now. I've got some errands that I need to run. I gotta make sure Joe hasn't destroyed my house because he's over on the
yeah. I'm like, doesn't he live like right next door to you?
No, not anymore. I moved. But he came over today to take care of some of his interviews to make use of the new space that we have here. But today, this is pretty much it, I think, for our live streams, right?
Nope. No? You're going to see me and Bryce as we talk about the show that gave us...
You guys moved to Saturday.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to be
We're also starting a new show. We're starting Kyoryu Sentai Ju Ranger. So... definitely look forward to that. We're starting that here at 5, so pretty much directly after this show, we're going to be starting that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What time zone is that?
Central Time. So we're going to be starting at 3 Pacific Time. So there we go.
6 East Coast.
Yeah, 6 my time.
Yeah. So basically, after this show, in the next hour, we're gonna be starting Ju Rangers. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Corey should stick around and watch.
Tomorrow, we have actually I guess nothing in the morning now because you've moved the Sentai show to Saturdays. So at night, we are going to have the Illuminary Wrestling Order. At 8 o'clock with Jay, Nate, and Pumps. After that, at 9:30, you can join me and Shay and maybe Nate if he's free for our Rick and Morty Smoke Along, the most watched show on this channel.
Yeah, honestly,
I only saw like one episode of y'all Smoke Along. I'm like, what are y'all smoking?
A lot of different stuff. Oh.
I bet.
That show's popping off.
I'm gonna show you guys something.
Oh gosh.
So I'm not gonna open it up. Joe and I saw this yesterday when we were out shopping. I don't know if you're gonna recognize the logo. This is Love, Death, and Robots from Netflix. Season 2. They created they did a branded thing with a cannabis company, and they created a curated grouping of different strains of cannabis to go with each of the different episodes. So that's something to look forward to that Joe and I are going to be doing eventually.
You and Joe gonna be doing that?
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
It's gonna be fun. And then let's see, Tuesday, we are still off because What If doesn't come until August. Is that right?
Yeah.
August 11th.
August 11th.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Jamie and I are taking a break from Star Trek Enterprise because Lower Decks is coming out on the 12th. We are also changing up the show a little bit for when we go back to doing Enterprise again. But so what we're doing now is we're playing campaigns in Star Trek Online. We started that this past Wednesday. It was pretty fun. We still kind of getting the hang of the game again because it's been such a long time since we've played it. But any of you guys that want to jump into some campaigns with us are more than welcome to. Thursday, we'll be back with the Bad Batch, and then it starts all over again on Saturday. I'm gonna keep talking because it looks like Blackwing is really bored, so I'm just gonna.
I'm not bored. I'm just
going.
I'm not bored. I was just listening.
He's just still angry at Corey. He's like sitting there like fuming.
Man, Josh, you think Blackwing was bored? Blackwing and Corey took the whole spotlight this whole show. At least you got to ask questions. I know what the hell is going on. And then it's these two going at it. Oh man. It's been brutal for me over here. Yeah.
So next week, Joe possibly will be joining us. We'll see, depending on his schedule. But we'll figure that all out. We'll let you know. We'll get everything posted on the channel. I'm working on trying to build a nice little graphic for our schedule, so that'll make it a lot easier for you guys to find out when everything is. Anything that you guys want to plug that's coming up this week?
Watch Retro Sentai after this.
Yes, please. If you love my,
are you still doing your Twitch? Like, do you have any streams coming up?
Probably maybe in the next, I don't know, 3 weeks or maybe in a month, because I probably won't be jumping back into streaming until like the Pokemon Sinnoh remix come out, but that's like not until like November. But I'll probably stream something in the meantime just to keep it going, because I bought the Street Fighter DLC for Battle of the Grid, but I haven't touched it yet.
Me
like,
too.
I have not touched my Switch in like months. So
it's sad. Like I was talking about that with Jezzer, because Jezzer and Daniel and Joe all came over yesterday because we all went to that screening together, and so Jezzer was like looking through all the games and everything that I have. I'm like, man, I haven't played any of these in so long. Like,
yeah,
it's rough. It's rough.
It's rough for me because I
just gotta stream them, because then you're working.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's how I'll justify it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But all I got is a Switch. I don't have like a PS5 or Xbox Series X to play like, you know, the amazing, dope, awesome titles. Like, I know. I'm trying to get.
You have a computer though, right?
Yeah, but I actually want to legit like actually stream the stuff. Like, okay, I'll kid you not. Like, for the first time last weekend, I saw a PS5 with my own two eyes in person. I'm just like, it looks freaking huge. I'm like, the picture.
It is
the
huge,
picture.
yeah.
The pictures did not do it any justice.
No,
it makes it look.
Yeah, it's really a struggle of where the hell you're supposed to put it.
Yeah. Because
I mean, sit
you know, I know, like people like Richard don't have that problem. You know, Richard doesn't have to worry about where to put his PS5.
Richard is constantly reminding everybody on Twitter that
He's just like, I can't find a PS5, so Bryce and I are just constantly trolling him.
Laughed so hard. He tweeted the other day how like Apple TV is doing this like deal between with if you have a PS5 you get 6 months free of Apple TV if you're not already a subscriber.
That annoys me.
And he's like, that's great. That's easy considering only 12 people own them. and then I replied, yeah, 11 of them are named Greg, who lived in his mom's basement. His only job is to resell PS5s, and one of them is me, a college kid, glad that he doesn't have to pay for Apple TV because he spent like $800 on a PS5. So.
Speaking of Apple TV,
but that was with the controllers and games and stuff. Like I paid retail for the console.
Recommendations for Apple Plus: Schmigadoon. If you like musical type stuff, Schmigadoon is amazing. Mythic Quest is really good. Season 2 just ended. I've heard For All Mankind is really good, but I haven't started it yet.
Yeah, cool.
But it's all. I got a free year when I bought a Mac Mini last year. So I've been watching everything, but then
I'll have to put that. I'll have to put that somewhere in the list of like 100 other things I'm supposed to watch.
Yeah.
So
anyway, like we were trying to end the show like 10 minutes ago. Now we're really going to be ending it. We will. So everyone will be seeing the two of you guys in about 45 minutes, and I'll see
about 15
minutes.
And I'll see you guys on Wednesday, and Corey, I'll see you on Saturday.
Yes.
Yes.
Peace out, folks.
See you, everybody.
Later, everyone.